Welcome back, guys. We're here with Static Revival. We were just touching on some of your songwriting and stuff like that. Let's talk about the song Whole, which I was lucky enough to see on YouTube and also through your website, which is a really cool film clip. I guess it was the first single off your EP, which you have. So let's kind of talk, firstly, we'll go into the EP after that, but let's talk about Whole and how that song came about.
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the flagship songs that sort of embodies the idea of thank you for being you and Static Revival, and even the name of our EP, Gilding the Lily. A lot of people seem to be chasing things that they think they lack, or that there's something that you have to buy, something you have to have in order to be at that place that you want to be. And Whole is a reminder of the idea that you're perfect the way you are. And that's sort of what we believe, and that's what we try to put out there, and that's what other people seem to understand about themselves too. It's that you are already a complete person, and that's sort of what the lyrics of that song embody.
Yeah, it's great, and it is for the people watching Whole with a W, so it is like the big fuzzy hole, not the hole in the ground. But it is a great song, and you guys can check that out on YouTube, and you can also go through their website to be able to look at that sort of stuff. And there's a bunch of other things on there. These guys are rockers, but they also get up and play a few acoustic songs from time to time, and on their website there is a performance of those guys out in East Nashville, I think, playing a couple of acoustic songs, sort of mellowed down a bit, but still so much suits your style. It doesn't seem like it's as stripped back because, I mean, your vocal carries the band so well, and I don't mean that by just drags them along, but it really does, so it lends itself to the acoustic sound. Do you write acoustically or as a band?
Yeah, we'll be performing that song today. That's one of the songs that we have called Faded, and it did lend really well. We were surprised the first time we sat down and sort of scaled it back because we came from a very rock and roll place, to sort of scale these songs back afterwards for smaller performances and radio, things like that. It was interesting to see them come back that way.
But we normally write on the electric, or me personally, when I try to come up with guitar parts or bass parts or whatever it may be, and most of the time it is written on the electric, and I'll bring it in, or I'll show Tyler or Cody, or if it's a bass part, John and I will just sit down and just jam it out with just the drums and the bass to try to turn it into something else, and just see where it's going to go. And those usually end up being free-form jams that from anywhere from 10 to half an hour long, just hashing it out, and then we'll go back later and try to figure it out, pull out the pieces that we really like from it and try to meld them together to create a song.
So do you give yourselves some kind of constraints in the fact that you say, look, because I imagine you guys, and being, the band is, obviously the lyrics are fantastic, the vocals are brilliant, but it is so instrumentally driven, I can see that you could probably get carried away in becoming a jam band at some extent. Yeah. Is it difficult in that process to go, look, we're just going to have to pull this into sort of 4 or 5 minutes?
Sometimes it's, I think for us, we're becoming, we've been playing a while and getting comfortable with playing with each other, that there's a maturity that begins to happen in your music, and you start to understand that sometimes less is more, and maybe not playing all the crazy parts or what it needs at that moment. But we all kind of dial each other back in the sense that we do all of our writing together. Somebody normally comes, Tyler or Drew are very great at coming up with these parts, these guitar riffs, and then we come in and kind of jam on it and see where it goes. And that magic comes like when you hear the part and we all kind of look at each other and smile and go, okay, so that was the part that we're keeping, and it's kind of unspoken. And we all have our high points as far as when we put those together. Each of us have different ideas, and we entertain all of those ideas pretty much. If sometimes I go, I got this crazy idea. If we could do this one thing right here, and everybody's like, well, I don't really hear that. Well, let's just try it. Yeah. And then we go, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And then sometimes they're like, that's not going to work. But
well, it's still cool to have a very diplomatic band and for everyone to have input into it. I think it's important for longevity. You see, often there's kind of like one guy who's the dictator of the band, and it just either he holds the band together or he makes them go away. It either goes one way or the other. Mate, coming from Texas, I mean, it's so well known in Nashville for a real sloppy country type sound. I know Austin, the motto, keep Austin weird, and there's some brilliant bands that come out of that. South by Southwest, as we all know, is an amazing festival. But when you made that transition, did you think you'd end up in a band like this?
Really, I mean, starting out in Texas, I was actually playing country music down there, and down in Dallas and South Texas and Austin, like that area, a lot of the mentality can be like Nashville is the enemy. You know, it's very pop sensed. The culture is very pop sensed, and you know, outlaw country is very praised there, and this sort of red dirt bootstrap mentality that Texas is so well known for.
Mm-hmm.
And so coming up here, I just figured that I would just try to, you know, join on to some songwriter that was, you know, touring and just get time as a country player, because I had been doing that. And I had moved to East Nashville, and meeting all the people there where you see a lot of the indie bands, it made me realize that there is still good, you know, rock music coming from this town. And I just happened to stumble across these guys, and now I'm doing that, and I couldn't be happier. And the sounds are good. I think the music in this town is going to be really good in the next couple of years. I see this as being a musical hub for this kind of southern rock sound that's more stripped down, like the Black Keys and Kings of Leon. So it's very interesting to be a part of it at this point in time. So
well, yeah, I mean, as you say, like the Black Keys, Kings of Leon, Jack White, I mean, people forget that those people come out of here as well. And even from the other side of things, like a Kelly Clarkson and all those, and like a Paramore on the other side of the fence, it's not just country music. It can tend to be sort of commercialized a little bit, but there's just this, I don't know, there's this, for people who aren't in Nashville that are watching this, there definitely is this like a wave that's sort of about to crash, this energy in Nashville that everyone sort of doesn't know how to harness it or where it's going to end up. And this is across the board in entertainment. Like there's film, especially indie film. There's like bands like yourselves. There's even some pop bands I know. There's singer-songwriters that are doing really cool stuff. So it's definitely the place to be. When we come back after this, guys, I want to talk a bit more about Gilding the Lily, which is the EP, which is available on their website. So we'll be back in a minute.
Hey everybody, we're Static Revival from Nashville, Tennessee. Check out our website at staticrevival.com. This song is called Faded. Touch the sun as hard as I've tried. And I can never be the one to love my own mind. The way I become, the way I live life, more that I'm not, more I'll survive. The higher you are, the harder you fall to earth. The higher you are, the harder you fall. If I could see the other side, maybe I'd hope. If I can live another life, well maybe I'd go. It's all I can do to run from the bay. But I'll make it through if I could just fade away. The higher you are, the
take and I take to lie. Just couldn't fake anymore. I couldn't take anymore. Tonight I couldn't fake anymore. It's all I can do to run from the pain.